Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Gemini, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Gemini, I am trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year and would love, love, love your support in making that goal. So please hit the subscribe button if you feel so inclined. I would love to grow this channel, get the messages out there. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. Gemini, I told Libra this and I'm going to tell Aquarius this. I already recorded a Gemini blockage reading only to discover that there was no sound on all three air sign readings. So you can imagine how I felt about that. But you got to chalk it up to Spirit didn't want those messages to go out. So here we are. This is all about blockages and overcoming them. We're going to use the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit as your oracle for the overall energy, and the Tarot of the Abyss for your tarot reading. So Geminis, I hope that you are well. Angels, Spirit. Okay, that was fast. That was very, very, very fast and really intense. You got Fire Ant. Fire Ant is a very complicated card. This deck has its own guidebook and everything, but I just read the cards intuitively. But I do know that the Fire Ant is particularly complicated, and it feels so Gemini right now. Because on the one hand, you know, ants talk about massive levels of organization, teamwork, building, coalescing, these kinds of words that the collective comes together for a common good. But what is that common good in this scenario? You know, I almost see this as the ants on the surface of skin and biting. That's what I see. There's like vulnerability here. There's a harshness here, a brutalness almost. So, you know, there could be something in your life where a lot of your attention was placed on something that ended up not benefiting you, right? Because if it's not skin that I'm talking about, maybe it's some kind of resource. Everybody's going after the food, but what if it's actually poison, right? These are very, very dark. It feels like dark energy right now. Truly a blockage. You know, if you're focusing a lot of your energy on something that you're not sure even benefits you in the end, but that so much of your cerebral attention is directed in that direction, right? It's directed in that direction, directed to that focus, to that end. It's almost like this might not be for all Gemini, so just please take it as it resonates. It's just an example, but it's a specific one that Spirit is bringing in. This could be talking about addiction. Maybe you feel compelled to, maybe you're just compelled to something, something addictive, and you are trying to overcome it. Right? You know why? Because they showed me what my addiction is, which is sugar. It's sugar. And caffeine. I don't know which one is greater, caffeine or sugar. Put them both together and you have an amazing cup of coffee. I mean, it's tough. But this could be a very significant blockage for you at this time. I'm going to pull 4 cards for the main spread. 4 cards as clarifiers. 6 already jumped out. And then I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck to see what the blockage is. A couple cards came out for you as they did for the Libra reading. So if you have Libra placements, please watch that reading. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Wow, I'm going to show you the next card that just showed up. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. This is the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. Ace of Pentacles is a brand new beginning from Spirit, right? Like a massive seed that grows into a whole bunch of abundance. When it's in the reverse, it's like that brand new beginning is eluding you right now. It's just outside of your grasp. Maybe you even see the beginning, but you can't touch it, you can't reach it, because your attention is focused elsewhere. This came straight off the bottom of the deck, and underneath this card was this card, the King of Swords, which is absolutely Gemini energy for me. But it is Gemini energy. Sometimes it's ascribed to Aquarius, which would be the star, which was right underneath that in reverse. These three cards in reverse. Not how I would prefer to see them for you. Especially your own energy coming up in reverse, right? Like, we want the King of Swords to be in the upright for a Gemini, because this is a Gemini standing very strongly in their own energy, in their own power and resolve and discernment. And when it's in reverse, it's almost like you don't feel quite like yourself. Maybe there's a process of healing that you're still undergoing, right? What did I say? I said that pentacle was just out of reach. Without registering this card, I didn't register with, you know, I don't have all the cards memorized, by the way. I have so many, this whole bookshelf behind me, that's all tarot and oracle decks. Something just out of reach that felt really important, and it showed up for your reading. So not feeling like you're in your element, like you're quite yourself lately, Gemini. In the past position, this is showed up for Libra, but in the upright. In this past position, you got the Seven of Swords in the reverse. In the past, I kind of like to see it this way, to be honest with you, because the Seven of Swords is not always like considered a negative a negative card, but for me personally as a reader, excuse me, I don't like the Seven of Swords. It feels very trickster. It's like trickster energy, and a lot of the depictions of the Seven of Swords in many different tarot decks represent it as trickster energy. Like in the Muse Tarot, it's like there's a lot of foxes that are around, and in the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Tarot, the Seven of Swords looks like an absolute thief. Even in the Rider-Waite, it looks like a thief, right? So there's something to this energy that feels deceptive, but you got this in the past energy, almost as if to say, I wasn't trying to be misleading or deceptive or untoward, right? But with it's clarified by the Page of Swords. Page of Swords talks about, here's that star, that light again, illumination, clarity, truth, and somebody presenting that truth. And it's almost like saying, I wasn't being untoward, but I just didn't know everything that I should have known. That Page of Swords is also about student energy, like learning things. So I was like, I didn't know what I didn't know. That's what I hear. I didn't know what I didn't know. Let's get a clarifier on that. Ten of Wands. Burden. Just carrying a very heavy load. You know, I have like a muscle spasm in my back at the moment. And this reminds me of when I was carrying my laundry. I have a big duffel bag. It was very full. I waited a little too long for laundry, but it was very full when I took it downstairs last night, and it just, I think I pulled something in my back. You know, you are trying to do a good thing, trying to get your life in order and be an adult. And then you just end up in some pain. So this could have been a really painful process. You know, it's almost like now Spirit is saying you've been carrying a load unnecessarily. They're showing a very specific scenario that has to do with this card in particular. They showed me, it's almost as if this character puts down the firewood, right, the wands, and if they had used them, they could have lit their way. They could have had torches and lit their way through the tunnel. There's something to that, like, I'm feeling a little, like a little bit of martyr energy. It's almost like a sacrificing energy, like I have to do this, I have to do this. No one else is gonna do it. And it's almost as if when you take one log off and you light it and, you know, symbolically light it, it's almost like you provide clarity about that thing that you've now let go of. So let me put it in another way, because I think I'm confusing it. It's almost like every time you put a burden down, which you realize is not yours to carry, it's like a spark of an epiphany. I don't have to carry this particular burden anymore. And there's clarity in that. There's illumination. So Spirit is kind of saying that in your past you were carrying a lot of burdens that you couldn't make heads or tails of. You didn't know what you didn't know. I feel the heaviness of it, like I feel the heaviness of that. In the present energy though, this is beautiful. I hope the clarifier is just as beautiful. You got the Magician, which is Gemini, Virgo energy. And the Empress, Taurus energy. Number 1 and number 3 of the major arcana, very divinely guided. The Magician is the master manifester. He or she, they, carry the power of all of the suits of the tarot. The 4 suits being the swords, the pentacles, the cups, and the wands. So being able to wield all of that power, be in the right emotional state of mind, have the clarity, the insight, and the fortitude, and the drive to execute a manifestation with the universe, to co-conspire with the universe, and then allow everything abundant just to roll right into you. So whatever was burdening you in the past, it seems like in the present energy, at least for some of you out there, you are really, really getting to a place of understanding of how powerful you actually are. But it's tricky. And Spirit's just telling me, but it's tricky. Because, you know, there's equal parts divine masculine, divine feminine here. So there has to be a balance between those two energies in you right now. And for some reason, they're showing this to me again. There's a little bit of an imbalance with something. I hate to say that, but here it is, 5 of Wands. It's not that these cards aren't still great for you, but 5 of Wands talks about chaos and conflict. Well, I said there had to be balance. I was feeling that there was tension, but it's almost like there two halves of you are pulling at one another, right? Just like this scenario. There could be you just questioning, you know, as the master manifestor, do I go after, kind of like the emperor as well, do I go after what I want, or do I just go with the flow and allow things to come to me? You know, I see a lot of go after what I want in this picture, almost too much, like chasing it. You know, I see somebody, it's like chasing a dream, but it's like eluding you, right? Just like that star energy. And then being at odds with yourself and saying, but I'm doing everything right. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why isn't it coming to me? My abundance, like, what am I doing wrong? Right? And again, it could be about your focus. Take it as it resonates. I want to pull one more clarifier on that because I want to get, the two cards came out. So another five of Pentacles, the feeling of being left out in the cold. Here, all the stars. It's being left out in the cold. Ten of Swords in the reverse. This is disappointment, right? And we want to learn from our disappointment. You can see here the owl. The owl represents that great wisdom, coming face to face with that wisdom. But there could be something that you can't see right now. You can't discern, right? Because you're not fully in your King of Swords energy. You're not fully in your Gemini discernment phase. There could be something, you know, double 5. That's heavy. I will say it again. I don't like 5s in the tarot. The 5s are all about challenges and limbo, or just stuck. And I don't want you to be stuck in this 5 energy, especially because it's clarifying such powerful kind of modalities here, right? This is like the potential of everything that's just at your fingertips, essentially. But energetically, you're like in this space of conflict and kind of FOMO, fear of missing out, and just like not understanding, not having the insight as to why. In the future potential, the moon in the reverse, this is Pisces energy. The moon illuminates in the darkness, but it represents shadow and secrets, mysteries, confusion, illusion. You did get the moon in the reverse in the future potential, which I like, because we want things to come to the surface, right? They're all kind of in the, because it's Pisces energy, it's very watery right now. It's very, you know, murky. And Geminis don't particularly like to be in murky emotional waters. It's not saying you don't have emotions. That's not what I'm saying. But that's not your wheelhouse, right? It's not your wheelhouse. You like the cerebral. You like things to make sense. You like there to be, you know, a course of action, a strategy to things. Discernment, right? And so the moon energies can feel a little off-putting, but in the future energy, you have it in the reverse, which is great. Things are coming to the surface. But with the Page of Cups in the reverse, that's 2 watery energies now. Page of Cups, I believe, is Cancer energy. Don't quote me on that one. Page of Cups in reverse is, there's a lot to say, but nobody's saying it. And the Page of Cups is somebody who offers a cup of love, a genuine cup of love or friendship. And right now that cup is being withheld, or rather in the future potential. right? Why, Spirit? Why is it being withheld? Knight of Swords in the reverse. There's a lot of... The word I was going to say was misguidance, misleading, misguidance. Like energies that would normally communicate, and knights communicate with swiftness, especially the Knight of Swords communicates clarity on something. When it's in reverse, it's kind of like things are stalled. The information is not reaching you in the way that you were hoping, right? Like with authenticity and clarity, it's coming to you with murkiness. It's still the moon energy. So whatever in your future potential that you're trying to figure out, you know what? Okay. Because I'm like, Spirit, where are we going with this? And then they just said it to me, which is sometimes you're not going to get all the straightforward answers. Like sometimes you're not going to receive that confirmation. And there's a part of you that just has to rely on your instinct, which is difficult. Maybe your instinct won't make sense, but you have to rely on it nonetheless. Let me, clarifying that, 3 cards came out. The Fool, the number 0 card of the Major Arcana, starts the Major Arcana, talks about taking a great leap of faith, trusting in Spirit. The 6 of Pentacles in reverse, not getting from Spirit what you thought you were going to get. There's a sense of unfairness here. The 9 of Wands in the reverse. Really, you know, 9 and 10 of Wands. Just really at your wit's end. Just trying to let everything go. Right? Your burdens. This is somebody that carries a lot of burdens. Right? You got it reversed because this is somebody that travels light. A Fool travels with like a little tiny knapsack on their back, and that's it. So clarifying this kind of energy of like, why aren't the messages coming in a clear way? It's almost as if, you know, there is a little bit of effort that you're going to have to make. You can't just sit back and expect those answers to come to you. Okay, now I'm hearing that the leap of faith is not necessarily about an external outward action that you have to take in the world. The leap of faith is going in, becoming insular in your spirituality and looking and speaking with the divine, speaking with source energy, confiding and conferring with them, getting the guidance from them. This is very external energy. This is like putting all of your energy into something outside of you. And Spirit is saying that the key is looking within, focusing all that energy within. Because these are external to you, right? These are external energies. So that's what I was clarifying. And that could be really, really weird. You know, I was watching a video on, there's this, I guess, neuroscience. It's neuroscience based, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe it's psychology based. You know, I don't know. I just watched this video. They were talking about how people process like how people think. There are some people that have to process everything externally. So I'll just give you an example. I have a very, very dear friend. I mean, at some point, like she's kind of like a best friend at this point. And she has to say everything out loud. She has to process out loud. And I'll give you an example. It's like, if we're in a restaurant, she's trying to pick something off the menu. Well, you know, I could have the pasta, but that steak sounds really good right now. She has to just, even if it's like, so nobody else can hear it, but it's under her breath. That sounds delicious. She has to say it out loud. She can't be quiet. She doesn't have I mean, maybe she does have it, but that's not her go-to. It's not her default. Her default is words, externally projected. And some people, so that's how some people process thoughts, and other people, they're very insular. They can hear sentences and they can hear their own voice in their head talking to them. Some people process because they see imagery, and the images help them to say the words. It's fascinating because you think that everybody thinks like you, right? Everybody processes their environment the same way you do. That's absolutely not true. And it explains a lot. If you think about the people in your life, you're just like, oh, I get it. You can't help yourself, right? So there's something here where you're being asked to step outside of your wheelhouse, step outside of your comfort zone, and get in touch with the feelings. Feelings. Because it's the key to your blockage. Because essentially, your feelings are what's driving you in what I consider kind of manic behavior with the fire ant. That feels, I mean, it's organized, but it also feels like manic. Take it as it resonates. That fire ant, I don't like to see that fire ant card, I'll be honest with you. One, because it's creepy crawly. But two, because it's like, I just feel like they're devouring something that's not good. It doesn't feel like a good situation. In the advice from Spirit, Death card, Scorpio energy. Number 13, clarified by the Ten of Swords in the reverse. This deck has 2 Ten of Swords, 2 Three of Swords. There's a couple of 2s, and you got them both in the same reading in reverse. You can see how different the feeling is, right? This was your feeling in the present energy, right? You're just like, oh, still have to learn the lesson. But from Spirit, it's a much harsher message. Got this card in the reverse. To clarify this, it's almost like you're trying to hold on to something that is dead and over with. It's time for you to have your rebirth. I don't see the Judgment card here, but I'm feeling Judgment card vibes. Libra also got that card. That there's some kind of reinvention of self that is underway at this time, whether or not you are cognizant of it. And that's a heck of a thing to say to a Gemini who is cognizant of most everything. Clarifying that, the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, not wanting to be in an energy of flightiness or impulsiveness. That's not what we're about here. We don't want to hearken back to anything that is unreliable. Knight of Wands is like a person who's like a flash in the pan. So Spirit is now saying, don't get swayed or drawn in to people who talk a good game, because this can be considered player energy. So I think that was like where all of that amalgamated. Don't be seduced by a pretty picture. Right? Because then it could, you know, it really can draw you in. To what and to what end, I don't know. Only you would know the answer to that. But it's Spirit wants to bring you something brand new. It's like a brand new, healthy situation for yourself, to plant a seed in something that will grow abundant. And I'm feeling like for the heart space, like something that you love, this just feels very toxic. So really ask yourself at this time what it is that this felt like to you. You don't have to overthink it. It is what it is, what it is. That first thing that you thought about, that's the thing. So that's your reading, Gemini. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Gemini.